Hello everyone, to part number 4 of our physical retaliation Warlord playthrough. Today we're gonna clear the left part of Homestead. I think the build is in a pretty good condition in the moment. This is a very interesting part from the playthrough. First quest is basically we have to get rid of this X. This is a very good area to pick up some experience as well. There is a very good density of mobs. Also there is a couple of secret quests and random encounters here. This is one of my favorite zones. So first quest is at this house over here, Thornsbury Farm. You're gonna pick this diary. There is a devotion shrine as well. There is another secret quest that involves a corpse and a note. Usually I skip it because very annoying to find this corpse. It's several spawn locations. It's not fixed. Thankfully the next part of the quest is always fixed, but you have to explore basically almost every house. This is one of the locations. It's not here at the moment. There is no corpse. It's always inside the house, not outside. I'll just double check again, but yeah, it's not here. This is the second spawn location. Okay, we got it. That's triggered the quest. But basically it's here, and I think a little bit later when you exploring the map. So directly south of the rift there is another secret quest. These guys over here, they trapped a girl, but that girl is basically a deceiver. There is a demon inside her. A little spoiler before the quest. There is two different outcomes which don't make huge difference. There is just a good thing to do and an evil thing. Basically it's not evil, you are not aware. You can be suspicious and ask her how little girl survived here. basically pick the bottom options. Something seems off here and you can attack it. I'm gonna do the other outcome just for a showcase. I'm gonna release her. And for my shocking, when I come back, this demon is basically destroy all the people at this camp for a revenge. You can see he sets everything on fire. He is not so deadly, honestly. Just be sure you move out of the ground. He's always rewards you Blood of Catan. This is the rarest material in the game. And this quest, it's actually insanely good in terms of experience compared to other quests in this area. So be sure you pick it up, especially for the Blood of Catan. It's extremely rare material, very hard to farm. Usually I convert later on giant hearts. And spend your Blood of Catans wisely. This is I think the third location for the corpse that gives the node for the treasure. This totem over here, I think is a pretty... yeah, this is ancient totem. I don't advise you click it. I'm gonna click for the showcase. This totem spawns mobs that you are not supposed to face that early on. As you can see, all of them charges, stuns. Can be pretty rippy on a squishy build. So this here is a triple rare. You can see the symbol in front of the item description. This is Sinister of Slaughter. This is a pretty good weapon if you level Pierce Infiltrator or Pierce Nightblade in general. Next step here is to find a Royal Hive. Usually just follow these bugs, basically. Royal Hive have several spawn locations. Unfortunately it's not fixed, so probably I have to roaming around a little bit, and so it's here. Good thing about Royal Hive, it's there is a backtrack exits built it in, so I don't have to walk so much. Here we need first the second entrance, not this one. This one is basically not quest related or devotion related. It's there if you want to pick up some extra loot and experience killing this. There is a several secret areas here. There is a corpse. There is a secret entrance at Skittering Den. So it's over here. This devotion shrine is a very dangerous one. Comes with a lot of poison pools on the ground. So be extremely careful. That's why I like to retreat a little bit, not staying so much. Okay. Another double rare. That's gonna sell well. One point here. I'll progress the mastery. I desperately need Menhir's Bulwark. It's gonna boost my survival ability a lot. This is Golus. Basically he's a Lord of the Rings reference. He's kinda deadly as well. Thanks to my not so good poison resistance. So this is a very good defensive ring. Unfortunately my roll's pretty bad. Of the Cabal is a chaos stuff. But in general the implicit of the ring is a very rude. And you can see the message, he really liked that ring. And also if you look here, there is these two statues. Looks very similar to the statues from the Lord of the Rings. But Golus is definitely Golem. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to the main quest. I think I pick up several devotions that I have to use. Oh, just one. So, armor and bleeding crest versus reduced stun. I'll pick this one for now. I think stun duration resistance is a good boost. So here in the main basically royal hive, we have to find two viziers. This is the first one, Lozakal. Actually they spawn next to each other. This is a very good luck. If you need their slicers, this two is the best farming spot if you are a piercing Nightblade. When I have both of the quest items from them, I can kill the queen. That battle is a two faces battle. First she is attached to this egg. This is a little bit alien represent. And I'm gonna release her basically. And here is when the things can get spicy. She had a similar meteor shower than the Shambler. I'm gonna kite a little bit so we can see all of her attacks. She stuns, and this is the shower. Be sure you don't get hit by several of those. They falls pretty random, so most of the time she's not very accurate. But I like to dodge. And there is a treasure room, not so good one, but still. several corpses as well. I like to click them. As I said last episode, they boost the bits from this kind of poppables. And that's why I like Royal Hive. There is a exit built it in. Here is the secret chest as well. You can see it's always here. It's a fix. This crossover here means the mob is a regenerator. Here his health regen is extremely fast. This is basically one-shot chest with some good chunk of experience. Honestly, I never found anything useful from this quest. I'm gonna sell my stuff. So this is another generic MI from this area. It's a soldier based again. But for now this one is actually better. Also another useful tip when you play hardcore, always play around your stash and your blacksmith. So shared stash is where you want to put your stuff. For example, if you hold shift and left click, you can assort them faster. You're gonna need your salt bag for later. So, and good thing about GRIMTOOLS, all the crafting and some of the quests, they drag items for your shared stash. You don't have to carry them, but there is a like few quests, maybe 5% of the game, that you have to carry it. But for the most part, for example, you definitely want your Blood of Cthulhu to be here. This is a very rare material, you don't want to die, and this to be at your inventory. And you can pick you can keep just the stuff that your character needs, basically dynamites and stuff. Scraps, even you can put part of the scraps as well. I'm pretty sure I don't need that much, so I can, with control and left click, you can separate the stacks. This is how we play hardcore. Always play around your stash. Black Legion send us to take care of one ethereal abomination here. The boss fight is not so deadly, but you have to watch out for a few mechanics. For now I pick up everything I need, every single bits. Especially when you play Soul Self-Found, I'm gonna spend a lot on faction vendors. I need to buy several components, blueprint and other useful stuff. But if you don't play this mod like me, you can definitely play a little bit with the loot filter. For example, I don't need any ranged weapons if I'm basically rich enough. I don't need 2 hunters, I'm gonna be sword and board type of build. So that gonna minimize stuff you can see on the ground. And don't be so overwhelmed at your screen. So this is the boss fight. The field itself is deadly enough, you have to be extremely careful. Usually you want to find this, basically this is a abomination cow. You want to fight it on a clear ground, so be extremely careful. I'm gonna spawn the boss. So this is one of the mechanic, you don't want to stay on top of these geysers. And this is its thunder. Gonna spawn several waves. Easy dodgeable. And basically this is the whole fight. It's a normal attacks and 2 mechanics. Usually I like to fight this abomination here. It's much safer than fight it here. If I have to dodge, I'm gonna take massive damage. There is a treasure room here. Some extra bits. I'm gonna bring back all the quests. So this is the first blacksmith in the game that can craft dynamites. You never farm dynamites by itself, you can, but it's kinda slow. Better just craft them. It's much easier later on to farm crystals and convert them to dynamites because the ratio is 1 ether shard and you receive 3 dynamites. This is pretty good.
There was much I see my scouts have reported back.
So that's friendly with Homestead. We're gonna bring this up as well. I'm gonna check our friend for this one is a good one. This one is a very good one if you play lighting or electrocute build. Also Isaiah Redin is the first vendor that gonna sell to you Mark of the Traveler. But I'm tank build, I prefer to have some extra resistances instead of movement speed.
Just the person. There are 2 other.
So here is the first important choice in the game. Which faction do you want to stick? There is a Dead's Vigil. This is basically the Necromancer faction. And this is Kaiman's Chosen. They hate Necromancers, so if you are Necromancer, you can't pick Kaiman's Chosen. This is a very interesting built-in mechanic in the game. So for our build, doesn't really matter which one we're gonna pick. Usually I prefer Kaiman's Chosen, their questline is much more easy to pick up and also I don't have to talk to NPC by any means to finish the first 4 or 5 quests. But Dead's Vigil, their hideout is a little bit far from the rift and as well I have to trigger 2 or 3 of the quests, so I have to backtrack, talk to them. Usually I pick Kaiman's Chosen, but in our case, for me, Kaiman's Chosen Nemesis Iron Maiden is a better matchup because she's a soldier based build, she's a melee, so I can dispatch her much easier than Xantarin. Xantarin is the Nemesis for Dead's Vigil, so I'm gonna pick Dead's Vigil this time. Just for this main reason. So I'm gonna bring back the journal for this lady. This is gonna trigger a whole quest line later on. What I love to do from now on, it's not immediately go to the right part of the homestead. This is a most hardcore heroes end up here, because at this point I need my chaos resistance to be capped basically, so I have to switch some gear. But before I do that, I prefer to do come back to the Prospector Trail and do the Pine Barrens questline, another favorite area of mine, and now at level 30 is a very good threshold to do this. Also, Pine Barrens comes with tons of reputation to the Black Legion and Homestead, because the whole area is filled up with beasts and beast bosses, and I want to be respected with Devil's Crossing, Rovers and Homestead before I proceed to the main story, especially before level 35. It's gonna be a huge boost to me. I need gloves from Homestead, boots as well, shoulder guards from Devil's Crossing, and some components, blueprints from the Rovers. That gonna help me a lot in the next part of the storyline, so this is a good spot for me to... So I unlock Menhir's Bulwark, sorry. It's immediately on my bar, comes with tons of health regeneration and retaliation damage. As you can see, immediately we start to dish out good chunk of damage. Also here is a generic amulet that amulet actually that I need. It's gonna boost my whole soldier skill tree, which at this point I invest most of my points here. So 1-2 soldier skills gonna bring you a lot of power spike, because I have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 plus skills. So 1-2 soldier is gonna bring me 14 soft skill points at level 30. Keep that in mind when you build all of your toons. Be sure you play around your main mastery, not so much at your support choice, which for me gonna be Oath Keeper later on. Endgame is a different story, but during leveling you can play around your main mastery. Okay, that's the quest item. Pine Barrens is another quest line that you can finish without talk with the NPCs. Just the first time to trigger the first 2 quests. After that I can finish the 05. Here is a boss that we need to take down. She is a physical based, you have to be careful. Also she is a swift as well, you can see this green scratch. She puts bleeds on you, slow. Also Sunder mechanic, when she uses her sting. Like this. Not bad roll at all. Vigorous readiness. I am happy with this, I'm not gonna come back to farm here again. This is usually a blade arc based amulet, but honestly it comes with very good implicits. There is attack speed and 1 to soldier. After that, after we kill her, we take care the basically the south path. Basically these guys at Pine Barrens, they want to get rid of the 5 bosses. 4 bosses, sorry, and they need 1 material as well. There is a totem here, different spawn locations, is a ancient, so this one is a very rippy as well. Every ancient totem spawns with a absolutely crowd control heavy heroes, you have to be extremely careful. Fortress, it's a very good relic for 35. I prefer Sanctuary because scales better later on, this gonna falls off sooner or later, but and brings another defensive button. This is a very good option. If I don't find by any means Sanctuary, I'm gonna use this one definitely. It's much better than Equilibrium at this point. So here we look for the entrance that's not shown on the map. I'm not gonna go here. It's much easier and faster if you use the secret entrance. There is a several spawn locations, you just to explore the whole area, unfortunately. Okay, so not that one again, it's shown on the map. There is a 1 spawn location here and 1 here pretty much, but I found it, it's this one. You can see it's not shown on the map. That's gonna lead us to Briarthorn, the second boss that we basically have to kill. This boss, nothing special, not so deadly. Very slow. If you have good bleeding resistance, armor and stuff, gonna be okay. So that's another MI. This is basically if you play Blitzer, but I already abused 2 of the items, Milton's Cask and Warden's Fortress. So I'm not gonna use this, but basically this is your setup, early setup if you play physical Blitzer. You need this amulet, shield and Milton's Cask, and Blitz gonna be on a much shorter cooldown. Also comes with a lot of modifications like 15 crit damage, and as well you have boost to blindside. This is another option if you don't like Mogara's Funk, but as I said, this is not the showcase of this build, so I'm not gonna use Briar Thorn. This is the third boss. There is a Devotion Shrine as well. The boss is at the middle of the map, exactly before the shrine. This cow over here, he spawns on top. Another not so deadly encounter. Comes with few debuffs. Puts fumbles on you and impair time if you are a range type of gunner or and we have to backtrack. I'm gonna finish my Scarab. At this point, Turtle, Scarab and Anvil unlocks for me a very good devotion. Targo the Builder. It's gonna boost my survival ability by a lot and my passive damage as well. This is an excellent and probably one of the best in slots tier 2 devotions for a physical retaliation build, or as well sword and board type of retaliation. There is another devotion here, so I can start build my also good tip, if you receive several debuffs you can pause the game but not escape button. There is a designated pause button in the game and you can check the debuffs by yourself just to be familiar with the icons and the stuff. It's a very good hardcore tip. It's gonna help you a lot to understand the mechanics much better. If you just at some boss fights you just pause the game and check what you receive as a debuff. This fortress is the last boss. I'm gonna use my devotion point, start Targo the Builder. So you have to take the stairs, because if you pick this route it's gonna be a lot longer. I'm gonna go for the objective. I don't want to kill these grobbles. Okay, we're gonna dump all the points here. Unlocking exclusive skill is a very huge power spike to any builds. Almost every mastery has one or two. This, for example, it's a Oleron's Rage. This is a very good one if I'm completely offensive type of build, but I'm not for the moment, so I prefer this one. You can have only one exclusive skill active. That's why it's pointless to level 2 of them. Always pay attention to your skill points and stuff. We don't have enough spirit. Probably I'm just gonna place some points. And I'm gonna change my amulet. We're gonna lose some resistances, I think. But 14 soft points, it's a very, very good.
Bring me back something interesting.
Okay, we are at the boss room. Sure you don't hit this one. It's gonna bring you back to the outside and you can come back, which is pretty annoying. You have to backtrack the whole fortress. There is a secret room as well. This is a good chest. Comes with good amount of iron bits and some random items. This boss is a bleeding based. Also shreds defensive ability, so can start to do some critical strikes on you. But he's a pretty good matchup for us because he's a melee. He takes tons of retaliation damage at this point. Don't worry if this fight is a little bit slow for you, because it's supposed to be. This is a pretty tanky boss. At some playthroughs I just skip it. I use the first 4 quests, but I advise you to do it because it comes with tons of reputation, experience as well. Okay. And I'm gonna bring all at once. And that's basically a level. I'm gonna go back to Homestead, sell my stuff, check is I ready. This is a very good way to build some pharmacy early on. I make ointments, elixirs, that kind of stuff. Okay, this one is a good one as well. It's a vitality res potion. At the last patch, actually they changed this. You can use only one oil or only one elixir. Basically one item per category. Back in the days you can use all the pharma you want, but at this point that's not the case. The shield is a bad one. I'm gonna take care of it. Okay.
Put it to good use.
I'm gonna check my reputation level. So I'm pretty close to respect it with them. There is this boots that I want. They comes with Ether, Chaos and Elemental Res, a huge boost at this point. And these tank handguards, they comes with all the retaliation damage and shield block. Some pierce res, total damage, life. Pretty good gloves as well.
Good use.
I'm gonna check my what I need basically from the rovers. I need
Got left.
Restless Remains probably later on. I'm gonna swap to this, not, but definitely I need the Runestone. I'm pretty close, so I'm gonna
Put it to good
kill
use.
some undeads at the Twin Falls. Basically, couple of kills is gonna bring me to the level that I need, so I can craft my Runestone. Before right part of the homestead is always nice to take a break, work a little bit on your equipment and your components, because mine is a pretty bad at the moment. I use basically tier 1 components. I'm gonna clear the swarming hive as well, because I need a little bit of homestead reputation so I can buy my stuff. If you need homestead reputation, I advise you to farm the hives, because that's gonna bring you royal jellies as well, so it's a win-win situation. Don't farm some random bees and stuff. Always value your time on when you play the game. Okay, that was a pretty good run actually. I found I think 5. Okay. Good thing about Twin Falls is a guaranteed totem spawn, so that's gonna boost my reputation. This is a good stop level 30, between level 30 sorry and level 35, because you start to open your faction vendors and as well your 35 relics, and basically your belt. If you're, in my case I'm soldier, so my belt is very early on in the game. Let's check the reputation. Homestead's pretty close. I'm gonna clear the other wasp hive, and rovers I need few kills. There is a hero. That's nice chunk of reputation. Okay, we are respected. I'm gonna port to Old Tarkovia and clear the wasp hive. This is a very important step in your build progression before you hit Blood Grove, basically right part of Homestead. Always try to get respected and level 35 as well. gonna help you a lot before you face the dangerous mobs that crawling around Blood Grove. Level 35 is a huge power spike for most builds, if not all of them. Okay, actually I find pretty good stuff. Okay, we got respected. You can do these farm routes. Usually I'm lucky enough I need just one round of it. But if you need more, just restart the game session, do the hives and the totem here at Twin Falls, and you're gonna be respected in no time with both Rovers and Homestead. As I said in the previous episodes, just buy stuff that you need. Don't go for all the blueprints, you're gonna be broke in no time. For now I need runestone and probably later on restless remains. Rovers have pretty good generic caster gloves and close combat gloves as well. So this is by far best if you play anything outside tank. But unfortunately now I play tank. Usually you can use this one as well. If your elemental is pretty bad, it's not necessary to use the Homestead ones. But Homestead ones comes for good chunk of all retaliation damage, so prefer them. And I don't attack so often, so basically attack speed don't work so well for me. I'm gonna check Redden again. So nothing interesting. You can reset him all the time. So I'm gonna buy the handguards and I'm gonna buy the harvest food pots. You can check there is a fervor. This is another very good leveling relic. Why? Because it's chaos. Because the proc is a 25% crit damage, this scales till endgame, even in endgame as well. Because it's a percentage, it's not a flat type of stat. And also 10% offensive ability, this scales up to late game as well. This is a pretty good offensive option for any build. Doesn't matter if you are a Nightblade, you're a caster, you're an inquisitor, you're a shaman. This relic scales. If you need damage, this is the way to do it. This is another very useful component. I'm gonna need it later on, definitely. I want to do spined carapace by myself, so I'm gonna buy this as well. Leathery hide is another good one. And this is basically shaman's belt and bloody whetstone. I don't need this for now, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna save myself some bits. Okay, I can change my medal at this point. Don't forget to reapply your movement skill to your medal.
Bring me back something interesting.
So you have to put it on your bar as well again. Kinda annoying, but it is what it is. I prefer these shoulder guards more than this one. And actually the row is not pretty bad, so I'm gonna buy it. And I'm gonna craft my belt. You can write soldier and devil's cord's gonna pop up. 1 ward stone, not too bad. I'm gonna craft just 1. You can try 3 or few times, but don't spend so much materials on this one. Resistant is actually it's what I want. This build comes with 1 soldier, another 14 soft points, huge. Comes with pierce resistance, and there is a resistant prefix on top. That means this is completely random, honestly. I got fire and poison, which is pretty good for me because I need poison. And there is a earthquake proc, not too bad, some passive damage. We have our basically 35 setup. I'm gonna end up the video here. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. See you in the next one.